Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to give the video a big thumbs up, share the broadcast. And also, family, don't forget to download our app. Yes, African Diaspora News Channel. We have our own app. Be sure to download it, beloved, so that you can support a major Black platform. Thank you so very much. Now, family, you all know that I have been doing quite a bit of coverage on Chicago here on the platform and on some other spaces as well, exposing the fact that this Black mayor of Chicago, along with some of the local lawmakers there, of all persuasions, have prioritized people that violated the law to get here over foundational Black Americans. They're happy to step over homeless Black folks, happy to step over homeless Black veterans, happy to cause Black families to be driven out of the city of Chicago because they can no longer afford to live there, and then turn right back around and give actual monetary compensation for folks who violated federal law and state law and other policies, rules, and regulations to get here. To ensure that they have housing. We understand that they give them cards so that they're able to have hundreds of dollars every month for them and their families, while many of the families who live in Chicago don't even qualify for a third of that in food stamps. Talk Black to me, somebody. Well, as I was doing coverage and as I was researching and I was quoting figures that was provided to us from those particular governmental and state agencies, and as I was exposing the fact how Black Democrat Chicago were actually trying to punish its Black constituency for showing up and being politically engaged and calling them out for their misappropriation of funds and prioritizing folks that violated the law over them, prioritizing them, allowing folks who very likely had criminal records or those that we knew very little to nothing about, allowing them to invade their neighborhoods and places that within proximity of where they live, to stay there without any vetting. All sorts of medical issues that arose because of what some essentially are calling an invasion at the border, only for the Democrats in Chicago to try and punish and silence and censor the Black constituency there. One of the things I brought up in the context of all of these different topics that's related to the city of Chicago and its people, I brought up the fact that those figures that I was quoting was very likely a major undercount. And one of the reasons I was saying it was a major undercount, because buried deep within some of the articles, they would say, oh, certain agencies don't report for this particular one, or this does not include something from so-and-so, so-and-so. So I was always wanting our viewers and listeners, supporters, and the family here to keep in mind that it's very, very likely that it was many, many times more, millions more dollars than what they were actually telling us. Well, of course I was right. I want you to watch this video clip.
Is available.
That information is available to you, sir.
Not all of it, though, is, sir. I mean, that's
Can you
the point.
give me a specific example of what's not available?
The Ogden shelter in the West Loop, that's what is spelled out in this lawsuit, that they get $150,000 just for being the property owner per month. Nowhere is that available on the city's spending website. My question, again, is simply, is there anything that would preclude you from including that level of detail? You guys have said you're transparent. Why not show it?
All of the information related to the spending to this mission is available.
That's where we left it. We have checked over and over again to see if additional information was added to the city's website. If it is, we'll let you know. Bennett Haverly.
Look how hostile your Democrat mayor is to that reporter after the reporter exposed big dollars that showed that the city spent in excess of $400 million in the past couple of years on the migrant issue and leasing and all that stuff, which I'm going to read some of the details here in just a moment, and how that information was hidden. It was concealed. The city was not forthright. And did you see how the mayor cut him off with the quickness there? Listen to just a little bit as recent lawsuit sheds light on how Chicago migrant funds are being spent. The latest figures from the city of Chicago's spending dashboard shows the city has spent more than $400 million over the past 2 years on migrants, with the bulk of that money going to private companies that help forge lease agreements or provide staffing for migrant shelters. Since August of 2022, more than 42,000 migrants have made their way to Chicago. My goodness, that's a small town in and of itself. The lion's share, it says, of the money, nearly $253 million. Let that sink in. has gone to one private company, Kansas-based Favorite Healthcare Staffing, which staffs the city-run migrant shelters. More than 76 million to 30 million of which came, more than 76 million, 30 million of which came directly from Chicago tax dollars, has gone to Louisville, Kentucky-based Equitable Social Solutions, according to the city's Coast dashboard. Look at these Black taxpayer dollars. According to the city, Equitable partners with another company called ReloShare, which worked to identify and craft these lease agreements with the property owners of the buildings that eventually became migrant shelters. When NBC5 Investigates asked months ago for copies of lease agreements through a Freedom of Information request, we were provided just 9, watch this, y'all, of the 27 lease agreements. Only a third. That's where a number of these leases are. Brandy Kanazi, the city's commissioner for the Department of Family and Support Services, told NBC5 Investigates back in March. Your governmental leaders, your local leaders, are keeping very important information with you. And they're cutting off folks and misleading them when they give responses to it, because they know just how bad the corruption that they're engaged in is. And we have to give a huge shout out to Black Chicago, who's been on the front lines of exposing this, because some of you, I've even heard, have actually sued certain city or local officials there. Many of you are the ones that are responsible for protesting and preventing them from actually being successful in settling some of these folks in certain buildings and parks and so forth. It is you that's been showing up and that have been politically engaged, showing up to the city council meetings, and have been a thorn in the side of those that are supposed to be responsible for representing you and your needs. Shout out to you. I hope you continue. And it is my prayer that the rest of these United States of America would take pay attention to how the precedent that you've set and follow accordingly. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it, but we were absolutely right below. And I want you all to see how traitorous this is. Now they're trying to do some little weird, and I talked about this not too long ago here as well, some little weird, little cheap, little sideline reparations task force. They don't do task force when they're cutting these $400 million checks, do they? That's dang near $500 million. My name is Vicki Dillard, beloved. Be sure to check out my channel at VickiDillard.tv. That's VickiDillard.tv. That's VICKI Dillard.tv. Connect with me at my website at VickiPlanet.com. And of course, share the broadcast here on African Diaspora News Channel.